Have you hit a point with your manifestations where you're like, why isn't this working? I'm doing everything. I'm doing the vision boards. I'm doing the visualizations. I'm doing the checklists. I'm doing the scripting. I'm doing, and I can't understand why it's not working. This video is for you because I'm going to talk about today how I shifted from focusing my attention on manifesting to actually receiving. It felt a really big shift. So I'm someone who's always been super focused on manifesting because so much of New Age spirituality is focused on this, and I strongly believe in the power of manifestation. However, what I've noticed, if you are somebody who is more like type A personality, like me, a lot of people on this path, if you are the hyper independent first daughter, somebody, a woman, a warrior woman who's had to carve her own path, who's had to fend for herself, you can slip into the controlling energy and slip into the micromanaging energy with manifestation. Because you can be so focused on the doing that you don't allow any space to receive. So I was listening to an Abraham Hicks podcast once, and it said the state of asking for and the state of receiving are two different energetic states that you can't be in at the same time. So if you're constantly focused on manifesting and constantly focusing on what you want and acting like it's not on its way, you can't receive it. And this is a trap that I fell into for so many years, because what you focus on grows, right? And I was so focused on getting what I wanted. I was focused on it so much that it became an attachment, that it became an obsession. It became a hyperfixation. And it's like, if I truly thought it was on its way, I would detach. And I would trust it was coming. We think about the 12 universal laws, the law of detachment, the law of assumption, assuming that what you're doing is enough and that it's on its way, and detach and it will come to you. I knew this in theory, but I could not detach. And I saw this with my health, right? I've been on a chronic health journey I healed once, but for the past 4.5 years. And I was so focused on healing. I've got to do this. I've got to do more. Just pouring all my energy into wanting to heal. But I wasn't allowing myself to actually receive the healing benefits. I wasn't allowing myself to receive everything that I wanted. And deep down, that's because I did not think I was worthy enough. And I want you to really listen to what I'm saying in this video and notice if it triggers anything for you. Because if you do, that is the key. That is the gap between you and what you want. Whatever comes up in what I'm saying. So what I noticed was I was saying, I want to be healthy more than anything. And on a conscious level, that's true. I want to be healthy. I want a good body. I want to live my life again. Like, I've lost everything. But on a subconscious level, it was, I don't believe that I can actually heal. I don't believe I'm worthy of healing. I'm a bad person. I don't deserve this. And this is all playing around under the surface, right? Bubbling in the subconscious. This was blocking me because although I was saying all of these things and I thought I wanted all of these things, there was so much bubbling under the surface that was blocking me from getting all of this. And I was so hyper fixated on getting the thing. I was so hyper vigilant, like everything was tied to, and it completely blocked me in every area. And since I have moved away from that, and since I have focused more on detaching and allowing myself to receive, and I'll talk about what that actually looks like in a second, it has allowed me to receive. My health has come greatly improved, like rapidly, in the past couple of months. Now, I want to talk about something that has created a really, really big shift for me. I truly believe, as somebody who has been on the healing path for a long, long time and has tried a lot of things, nothing has changed the game for me like subconscious reprogramming, okay? Because everything is stored in the mind, which affects the body. Memories are stored, or your traumas are stored in the brain. Everything is stored in the brain. So if you're walking around and you've got a load of gunk in your head telling you, you're not good enough because someone told you when you were 7, or you can't actually heal, you've got all these beliefs, right? What we believe to be true is going to be reflected back to us in our reality. If we're walking around with all that gunk in our head, how are we ever actually going to get what we want? Because that's the stuff under the surface that's holding us back. Now, there are so many different ways to reprogram your subconscious. There's so many tools out there. I can only talk about what worked for me. And the thing that changed the game for me was something called Faster EFT, or Eutaptics. It's the same thing. Now, although it's called Faster EFT, which is like the tapping, it's very different to normal EFT. Normal EFT, you say affirmations and tap on the meridian points. Faster EFT, you go back into memories and change them. There is a bit of tapping involved, but that's not really the whole point of it. You go back into memories and you remove the emotion from them, and you change the memory to something better, and you do this over and over again, and you can change your beliefs with it. Now, I'm not going to talk about this in too much more detail because that's not the point of this YouTube video. But if anybody wants a recommendation for a Faster EFT or Eutaptics practitioner, I can recommend the lady that I worked with called Miranda, who honestly saved my life and is an incredible practitioner. So let me know in the comments if you want her details. But you have to clear that up. You cannot keep trying to manifest if you've got a million limiting beliefs holding you back and telling you that you can't actually do it. And most of them you're probably not even going to be aware of. And this is why it's so helpful to work with a practitioner, because they can reflect back to you things that you can't see. And it's like, once you start to notice them, they come through very quickly and you can change them very quickly. Okay. It doesn't have to be this thing where because at first I became hyper vigilant about all my limiting beliefs that I needed to do, which kind of just defeats the object, right? It becomes a limiting belief that you have a lot of limiting beliefs. So this is the first thing, is you need to clear up those beliefs. You need to find whatever tool works for you to clear up that gunk and to continuously clear up that gunk, because there's going to be layers and layers to limiting beliefs. And these little sneaky niggles that are saying, no, actually you can't have it. No, you're not worthy. All of this. So I realized that I had this limiting belief that I am a bad person and I don't deserve to be healthy. And so I needed to clear that first. Now, once I did that, and again, this is a continuous process. It's not a one-time thing. These things come up in layers when we're ready to see them and to clear them. But the second thing was actually just focusing less on trying to manifest and focusing more on receiving. Now, what does that look like? For one, I scrapped my vision boards. I do have goals. They are less kind of big and life-consuming now. So, for example, when I originally came back to the UK last January, I came back to apply for visas to move to Portugal. And this has not flowed. I cannot tell you. I think it's difficult because, like, in the spiritual world, it can be like everything is a sign, right? But then also some things don't come easy. It's so complex and nuanced. And sometimes it's difficult to figure out, is this hard because, you know, it's just a test to see if I really want it? Or is this hard because it's not right for me? And I've ran into a gazillion hurdles to try and get to Portugal, to the point where I actually ended up saying, I surrender. I don't know if I'm even supposed to go. I have this vision in my head of me living in Portugal and having this great life. And I've always had this story that England is not my home. Always had this story that England is not my home. And so I started to look at that instead, because I was like, all right, I'm going to release the steering wheel of life, because clearly I don't know I'm trying to control it, and I'm going to see what life has in store for me. And now what I've been doing is I've really been looking at this story around England is not my home and asking myself why, and then clearing through those limiting beliefs. And now I'm like, maybe England is my home. Maybe England is my home and I'm supposed to go to Portugal for a few months every year. Maybe it's somewhere else. But I scrapped all of my big goals. I got rid of my vision board. At the beginning of the year, I had a vision board that was like Portugal and this and that and this. I've got rid of it. I'm like, do you know what? Steer me, God. Guide me. I'm just going to follow the nuggets. I don't need to figure everything out, because it can be bigger and better and so much more aligned than I can ever imagine if I just stop thinking that I know what's best. And so when I took the attention off trying to manifest and trying to make everything like what I thought is the best thing for me, and instead every day turning that energy into opening my heart, turning that energy into softening, turning in that energy into peace and tranquility. Like, rather, before, all of my energy internally was going on trying to figure out how I'm going to get to Portugal, trying to figure out how I'm going to do this, trying to figure out that, trying to figure out what's best for me, how am I going to do all of this. No. Every time that came in, I would just take a deep breath, come into my body, put my hand on my heart and say, like, how much can I receive? And it's funny, once you start to ask this question, somatically, you're probably going to notice there's a lot of barriers, there's a lot of blocks, right? I still have it now. I'm not going to pretend that I'm like completely open-hearted. I feel that I'm not. But I could feel this pressure on my heart space. You know, I'm saying, guide me. I want the best life possible. But my heart is, no, it's scary. It's dangerous to do this. So I've just been chipping away every day. How much can I receive today? Every time I notice my mind spiraling and like my energy going towards trying to figure things out and grasping and manifesting, controlling, pausing, coming into my body, you know, doing a bit of havening, a bit of self-touch and saying, how much can I just receive today? How much can I let life show me what is best for me? How much can I allow life to just easily give me things? Because again, me thinking that I have to manifest control, me not believing that things can flow to me easily. And I see this in so many women. We've had to fend for ourselves our entire lives. We have been the leader in relationships. We've gone through trauma, heartbreak, financial crisis. We've had to fend for ourselves. We've almost become hyper independent, that it becomes a barrier to us being able to actually receive. Okay. And women are designed to receive. Anyone who knows me knows I talk a lot about feminine energy and how there's a lot of BS around it. But I do wholeheartedly believe that women are designed to receive. Our bodies are designed to receive. Energetically, things come naturally to us when we are in flow. And that doesn't mean we don't work. It doesn't mean we don't take aligned action. It doesn't mean we don't, go towards our goals, but do that and make space every day, carve out space every day to be like, I'm just going to receive. And that doesn't mean something's going to come to you straight away. Okay. It's not like a request forcing, okay, I'm going to receive now. Where is my thing? Where's my abundance? God damn it. No, it's just carving out space every day. And it can be 2 minutes. Okay. It can be 2 minutes. It can be 5 minutes. I do mine little, like I say, every time I'm on the toilet, I say, often, how much can I receive, before bed, 5 minutes in the morning, just like little breaks throughout the day. It doesn't have to be this big routine, this big ritual, but continuously opening yourself up to receive rather than constantly trying to manifest. And I've just noticed life flows so much easily for me. I'm in a huge transition of life right now. I'm moving, jobs are changing, new friendships are coming in. Like, I'm basically rebuilding my entire life from the ground up. And I've been terrified of this for months, and I've been trying to control it for months. And since I've moved more into the receiving, women are coming into my life so easily in ways I couldn't have imagined. Money's coming to me from places that it's crazy where it's come from. Opportunities, like looking for a place. Before I would have like made a checklist, like really scrambling around. And now it's like, I just get a message like, hey, I've got a room available. Like, hey, I know someone who's looking to rent a room. Things are just coming to me so much more easily because I'm carving out that space to actually just receive and open up my heart and allow and really work on the belief, because this is a big one for me. This is the nugget I'm going to leave you with. I had this belief, and I've had this belief my entire life, that things have to be hard. Life has to be hard. If things are hard, it means that I am worthy. If things are hard, things will only come to me if I work hard. If I push, if I strive, if I hustle, the more I do, the more I receive. And I am rewriting that belief every single day, because I don't think this is true. But for so many of us, life has felt hard our entire lives. And so that's reflected back to us, and we are caught in this pattern. And that's why we're stressed and burnt out and sick and hypervigilant. No more. Rewrite the belief. Life can be easy. Life can be easy for me. And you can't just say this. You can't just write it down in an affirmation. You need to check in with your body. If there is a resistance in your body, that means that you need to do something to rewrite that limiting belief, okay? Because your body is going to talk to you. If you tune into your body, and when you say, I want £1 million, and then your body's going, no, that means you need to clear that. You need to change that into a belief that feels good in your body, because your body is going to tell you what your mind actually believes. So really look at the beliefs of what you believe about receiving and what you believe about life, and whether it has to be easy or hard, and whether earning money has to be easy and hard, and whether receiving love can be easy. All of these things, all aspects of your life, the more you believe they can be easy, and the more that you can rewire yourself out of that survival mode of, I've got to push, I've got to strive, I've got to control, I've got to micromanage, the easier it is to allow things to come to you. And it's not an overnight process, it's a continuous process. But what's really cool is the more you do it, and you just see the tiny little nuggets come through. For me, my skin cleared up, something that I didn't think was ever going to happen. My skin got really bad last year when I was going through a load of stuff with a relationship, and all of a sudden one day I realized my skin's cleared up, and now every day thank you for this. What else do you have for me? What else can I receive? What else can flow to me? That's the energy that's going to allow more things to come to you. If you liked this episode, please write a comment below. Tell me what it brought up for you. Do you have a belief that life is hard and has to be hard for you to get what you want? Like me, let me know in the comments below. I love you so much. Stay wild, stay feral, stay free, and I'll see you next week.